Welcome to Forbidden Planet TV. I'm Andrew Sumner, and this is Celeste Bronfman, and this is Andrew Cartmel, and this is Ben Aaronovitch, the creative brains trust behind Titan Comics' new Rivers of London graphic novel series, Deadly Ever After.
And can I just say, what a great title. What a great title.
Yeah, amazing title, and a very interesting and very significant change up in your creative mix for this series, because Celeste Bronfman is the writer, Andrew Cartmel is the script editor, and Ben Aaronovitch, once
again,
Galactus-like, is the creator.
I just bless the work after it's finished. I say, bless you, my work.
He's the one who created the brilliant characters. Like, we're working in Ben's world.
See, you've been in Los Angeles for way too long.
I know, I've changed.
It's Ben's world. We are just living in it. And guys, first of all, before we start talking about this series, about Deadly Ever After, how is everybody?
I'm great.
Yes, yeah, I'm having a good time.
Good, excellent.
All that sort of stuff, the post-pandemic kind of, yay, not dead.
I've got a novel coming out next week, which everybody should buy.
Yes,
it's called
Titan.
Yes.
Best one in the series.
Very good.
Which is with a purple cover. That's all you need to know.
You don't know this yet, Andrew, but one of the things I was going to talk to you when we're off camera at the end is I'd like to do a separate conversation with you about the latest Vinyl Detective and, in fact, the whole series, which I've now read.
Do it now. Never mind this Deadly Ever After stuff.
We'll just turn off our cameras.
Right on. Right on.
Joining us from Los Angeles, I think we should give her a bit of time on this.
Absolutely. So
I had to travel all the way to my Zoom.
I know. It's a pain.
That grueling Zoom journey. How did you become involved with these guys and with Deadly Ever After?
It's a long story, but I will not bore everyone with the whole story. I met Andrew at a Doctor Who talk that he was giving because I was a massive fan, and he was so kind and generous and offered to read my weird time travel script.
It was really good. I still remember some of the imagery from it. No, seriously, it was terrific.
Thank you. But I was really lucky. We stayed in touch, and Ben and Andrew started giving me these incredible opportunities and like really taught me everything I know about comics by allowing me to write the gag strips at the end of the issues. And I didn't really know anything about the format, and I learned so much. And Ben and Andrew would punch up the dialogue and like really helped me kind of get a grasp. And then they were so kind and generous and like giving me the opportunity to pitch a 4-issue arc. And yeah, it's been.
We didn't have to do much with those gag strips. Do you remember the shipping one, Ben?
Yes, I remember the shipping one.
He laughed so hard when he read that. It was great.
But, I think it's important to point out that Celeste's pitch went in the mix with our pitches, and we pitched them to them upstairs. And the reaction was, "Oh, we really like this one. We're not very keen on the other ones."
Yeah. That was kind of offensive, Celeste, being so much better than the two of us.
Sorry.
Right, okay. So, Celeste actually got here quite a lot on her own steam. She wasn't kind of parachuted in. She pitched it in there, and I was very pleased because I thought it was we all thought it was a very good pitch, but we did actually try quite hard with our own pitches, and so we were beaten. And we don't hold that against her at all in any way whatsoever, honest.
We were kind of like pussyfooting around, trying to work out how can we, slot her in. And they came back and said, we didn't much like your pitches, but we really liked Celeste. No. We were knocking at an open door. No, seriously, that's what happened when we showed it to the powers that be at Titan. So that was, number one, great heap sigh of relief. Number two, like, what's wrong with our pitches, man?
So Celeste, what is the synopsis?
Now you have to do it.
I know. Look at this. This is how they get back at me. So essentially, it follows Chelsea and Olympia, who end up in this kind of fairy tale adventure when deadly fairy tales start coming to life in London. And so, it follows their journey as they try to figure out what's happening and then save all these people who are living out these fairy tales.
And why fairy tales?
I have a weird, morbid love for like the old fairy tales that had really, really horrific endings. And I think I think it all came about like at the very beginning of quarantine. And I think clearly this is like an image of my mental health at that time. But it was truly dark times, and I was rereading a lot of like Grimm's fairy tales, and I love gothic horror and all these things. And I think at that time I pitched, yeah, Andrew probably has a better memory than I.
No, I was just going to say, have you ever read any Angela Carter, those sort of modern takes on classic fairy tales?
I haven't actually.
Ooh, I'm surprised because you kind of got that angle on it.
Oh, interesting.
And very popular at Forbidden Planet, Angela Carter. So okay. you're in exactly the right wheelhouse.
Wow, there you go. I am honored to be in good company.
And that's one of the things that people respond to so strongly. And the basic subject matter, what you're writing about, people just love it.
Oh, that's really nice. I think it's like really like it allowed these characters to escape into this weird world that maybe people are familiar with. It was exciting to write.
It's interesting because before I heard you say that, I was aware of the fact that your career has squared what is to me a very interesting circle, from Degrassi to Big Top Academy to Star Trek, through to Rivers of London via My Little Pony. And I think if you jumble all those things up, you actually get horrific, soul-scarring fairy tales.
Celeste, tell the folks what you're doing as your day job at the moment.
Well, I'm working at Marvel now, which is very exciting.
Television, not comics, correct?
Yeah.
Television, but yeah, no, it is a weird trajectory. You're right. I have not kind of tried to summarize my career journey, but yeah, there is this like warped kind of fairy tale element where it's like these shiny, ponies, and then this like deadly subject matter. I'm a writer's assistant and script coordinator on some of the shows there. I'm very lucky.
So because this is Forbidden Planet and we love our Marvel, can you talk about which shows you've been working on?
I'm not sure if I can say much. I'm kind of on a lot of NDAs, but yeah, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I've been reading the comics since I was young. But we should talk about Deadly Ever After.
Well, the spectre of Kevin Feige looms large, of course, whenever you ask anybody that question, and we always get the same answers. So we were talking a bit off camera about how it's been for you, Ben, and how it's been for you, Andrew, working with Celeste. Can you elaborate for the viewers a bit on that, please?
I'll let Andrew talk about the nitty gritty. I'm going to start from the overview point of view because that's basically been my position. wonderfully overviewy. The thing is that unlike novels, comics are a collaborative art form. I mean, they're not as collaborative as television, as anyone you've watched television, so but they're a very collaborative art form. And so we realized that we wanted to sort of broaden the writers, just broaden the kind of scope of the people that were coming in.
Enrich the gene pool.
Yeah, expand the gene pool because we've look at us. We're both kind of like I'm a late middle-aged, probably early ancient white guy, and Andrew is a young teenage white guy. So we felt that we could actually make it slightly lighter just by employing someone who maybe came from Bradford, really, could probably widen the gene pool quite a long way. So we started looking for people to see if they would like to write it into it. And then we kind of sold the idea to the powers that be at Titan Towers. And we kind of sidled up to them and said, we would quite like to bring in some, we sold it as cultural diversity, actually. We went and said, we think we should be more diverse, and it was just the right time because that was like, everyone was getting into diversity at that point. So we just went, we're just going to make it culturally diverse. But really it was because we wanted to bring other people in to do all the work.
But again, like when we pitched the various stories, they they bit our hand off. They were absolutely going for it, weren't they?
They practically took us off at the arm, and it was a very good pitch. I mean, like I said before, it was a very good pitch. It went in, and they picked it over our pitches. You know, not that I'm bitter. And
do you think it helped that Celeste had done some gag strips, so she was sort of in the inner circle at that point?
Yeah, I mean, she already knew what we were like to work with, and she hadn't run screaming into the distance, so that was quite a good thing. And Titan knew who she was, which is always a good thing. You know, you don't want to go absolutely cold, and because she's got a CV, so you know, it wasn't like
rather better than our CVs now. You said that earlier.
No.
So you know, these things you never know. But I think it was the pitch. I think it was the pitch in the end that sold it, and the pitch was so solid, and the story idea is so good, and the work is so good. So from my point of view, I was expecting to have to kind of pore over every single line of dialogue, but fortunately, Andrew knows the world so well that I basically just go, oh yeah, fine, that'll do. Yeah, oh, lovely, like that bit. I've really enjoyed the process, and also. As the creator, I think you have to stand back when you're doing a collaborative project. You have to know when to stand back a little bit, because otherwise you drive yourself completely bonkers.
Well, Ben is very good at this because he allows other creative artists latitude, because he says, you know, it's sort of like, why buy a dog and bark yourself kind of thing. Yeah. And so even though people don't always go in the direction that he wanted to go, he thinks it's just healthier and better all around just to let people do their own thing. You know, to an extent.
You know, to an extent. I mean, because it's just more, you know, it is healthier. I mean, I think that's actually a very good word for it. I hadn't thought of it like that, but it is kind of just healthier to have a bit of, you know, well, make your gene pool as heterozygotic as possible. So,
so Celeste, why Chelsea and Olympia?
I think we were going through different characters, because I think the idea came about before we knew who we were going to focus on. And I think they're so young and just have, I don't know, I'm sure all of us can relate to being like teens with so much confidence and so much excitement about the world, and kind of they feel invincible in so many ways. And that's really fun to delve into that, and like these characters who feel like they can take on anything and go over their heads. And so that was very interesting, that feeling to me, and they just felt fun, and I thought there was a lot to explore with them. Ben created these great characters, and I kind of just rolled with like all of that I knew of them, and I think it was really fun for me.
It was kind of, if people are familiar with Buffy, we wanted to do sort of a Zeppo where the main characters only appear like in little vignettes occasionally, just little flashes of this big story that's involving them, but mostly have it about the secondary characters.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely approach. Celeste, when did you first encounter the world of Rivers of London?
I think it was before I definitely was approached to write some of the gag strips. It was when Andrew and I first met, and I had learned about Ben just because we were Skyping, and I picked up the first book because I knew Andrew was also writing the graphic novels, and I just fell in love with the world. I love London. I don't know it as intimately as Ben and Andrew, but I had a chance to live there for about like 6-7 months when I was on exchange, and it is magical. And so the idea of like delving into that history and really exploring that, you know, that environment, like I fell in love with the books and the characters.
It's worth mentioning that although I have done conventions in LA, it was in London that I met Celeste when she was over here for that 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, it's wild thinking about it. It was a while ago, but like it feels like yesterday.
And you talked a bit about the essential tension within a lot of fairy tales. You know, very bright, wonderfully realised worlds with this heart of pure darkness that actually often sits inside of them. What was it like actually writing and balancing that tension within this story?
That's a good question. These are hard ones. I think the TV and the comics I respond to are ones where it doesn't really, it has fun with the material. I think like I just talked about Doctor Who, but I think like Doctor Who did that so well, and Ben and Andrew come from that show, and like they do such a good job in the books and in the graphic novels of like having that humor with the tension, with that dark tension. And I think in some ways it's almost more disconcerting to have humor when dark things arise, because it's like you're not expecting it, and it's so contrasting, and it I think it adds this like layer to the story, to the world, and like really adds to it. So for me, that's like, I think I was following the tone that Ben set, and Andrew helped me keep that tone. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I respond to as well. So it was.
I've got to say, we've just got Celeste's 4th script for the 4th issue, and it's hilarious. Have you been doing a bunch of comedy writing? Because it's really, really funny. This one, not the others were po-faced before, but this was extremely funny.
Yeah, you can come see my comedy set. I'm joking. No, that's very kind of you to say. I don't consider myself a very comedic writer, but I aspire. So
your comedy chops are really getting stronger, I would say.
Thank you. Anyways, these people are too nice, as you can see.
And something that people may not see, if you buy the Rivers of London deluxe hardcover graphic novel, what's it called? The Writer's Edition, where you actually see the script. Yeah. The thing is, the reason I'm mentioning this is that Ben's script, some of the best writing is never seen by the readers because it's in the descriptions for the artist, and it's hilarious. So it's great that these are being published. The reason I mention that is Celeste is doing that now too. She's got some killer lines just in the descriptions, which the readers aren't going to see. So maybe there'll be a writer's edition of Deadly Ever After. I hope so.
I would say
that's something I learned. Sorry.
No, please carry on. I was just going to say almost certainly there will be. And by the way, everybody watching this, we're talking about, once again, Rivers of London, Deadly Ever After, which you'll be able to pre-order from the links attached to this conversation. And not only pre-order Deadly Ever After, but also order a wealth of amazing Rivers of London books and graphic novels, and Andrew's final detective series, which we'll have a separate conversation about.
As much as I'd like to plug my final detective series, I just want to say a word here about Jose Beroy, who's now the artist.
Right on. Yeah, very good.
So great. Like, I mean, we were really lucky to have Lee Sullivan, but Jose is amazing because, like Lee, he's really nailed down. Everything is like very realistic and believable, but extraordinary and kind of fantastical as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always in awe of artists because I can't draw at all, and the idea of coming up with 22 pages a month just fills me with like I would kill myself. It's just that.
But have you seen the new one with Abigail and the Fox? It's just so great because he just knows how to position the characters, the expressivity of them, and then when he does big like that's just for head and shoulders shots. When he does big action scenes and fantastic stuff, we are very, very lucky to have this guy.
Yeah, he is a really wonderful artist.
And of course, this is his debut story. It is Celeste's debut story.
Yeah,
am I lying? Wait a minute. He did. I'm lying through my teeth because he did Monday, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I was nodding away again. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Just eradicate Ben from history. I don't.
Who's your editor on the book?
Which book?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, very good question. On Deadly Ever After, who's the editor on Deadly Ever After?
Andrew is.
David Manley Leach.
Right. No, I was wondering who you're working with at Titan. So you're interfaces with David, right? Got it. Okay. Yeah. David Manley Leach, very famous British comic book editor, the creator of the independent comic David Leach Conquers the Universe, which I thoroughly recommend anybody checks out. And if you know David, you'll understand why that is absolutely hilarious. And
he's another one of these quizzlings who preferred all of Celeste stuff to our stuff.
Oh, can we have more Celeste? He said.
I'll have to send that check to him at some point too.
So now that you've got your triumvirate, your machine working so effectively on Deadly Ever After, again available for pre-order here, do you have plans for the future, guys?
We were just discussing that. We've sort of got various pitches waiting, but what this requires is a lunch. This is the way the Rivers London Comics began, with a lunch between me and Ben, and that's the next phase, requires us to get together for lunch. Celeste, you're invited, but you may have to fly over.
Are you paying? Are you? No. I would gladly come. Save me some dessert.
What it has done is meant we've got to re-up our pitch game, because like now Celeste has set the bar so high.
It's true. It's true. But she's also shown what Jose is capable of in a very different pocket from what he did for Ben on Monday. We're suddenly seeing this. He did the Phantom of the Opera, I think, for Titan too.
He
right?
did, yeah. That was wonderful.
So we're
amazing.
seeing more of that kind of gothic horror fantasy thing. So we're beginning to see what he's capable of. So maybe our sneaky little brains might spin in that direction.
Yes, who knows where our sneaky little brains will go after we've eaten enough dinner.
Lunch.
And those are words to live by. Everybody who's been watching this conversation, Deadly Ever After is a real treat, which you're thoroughly going to enjoy. I envy anybody who's looking at the artwork on the book and the script on the book for the first time. You can order it here, as I said. And guys, it's always so great to see you all. Celeste, Andrew, Ben, thanks very much for joining us right here at Forbidden Planet TV.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And take care and all the very best. And I can't wait to see what you come up with next. And I'll see you soon.
Bye.
If you're enjoying watching Forbidden Planet TV and you're enjoying watching us talk to the world's most interesting and accomplished filmmakers, authors, artists, musicians, creators, subscribe right here. See you soon.